Thank you so much, Kathy, for that great introduction. And it really is a real honor for me to be here today. Not just because I love coming to the coast, and every time I come, I'm never able to stay very long. It's always flying and fly right back out. But really to welcome all of you and to commend you for the great work that you're doing for the future of our state. I want to say a special thank you to TAG for what they've been able to do as an association to advance this cause. If every association had a Melanie, there's no telling what we could accomplish. So, give her a round of applause. She is a ball of energy, and I love that. And I also want to say a special thank you for Senator Buddy Carter for being here as well, a great champion on educational issues as well, representing this wonderful community. They told me when I arrived that I only had 10 minutes, and if you know most politicians, they can't say anything in 10 minutes. But I do want to hit a few points that I think are important. You know, as Lieutenant Governor, I sit in an office that people come in about every 15 minutes, and they have all kinds of ideas and issues by which they want to talk about. And I tell people that as Lieutenant Governor, there are many, many things that catch my eye, but there are few things that catch my heart. And when it comes to education, when it comes to our future generations, that is the real thing in which I have the greatest degree of passion for, because it represents what the future is going to look like. And all of us in this room today have not only a responsibility but an obligation to leave it better than we found it. And when I look around this room and I see so many corporations that are not only engaged personally but are investing their money, their talent, and their resources, it encourages me beyond words. And I want to pause for a moment to cast a little bit of more of a 30,000 foot level perspective. And that is, we all know the difficult economic time that we are going through. Nothing that we have today is valued what it was 5 or 10 years ago. But the state of Georgia, in excess of 25% of our unemployment is directly related to the collapse of the real estate market. What that tells us is that we as a state have to diversify our portfolio. We have to be committed in building a new economy that is more robust and is much broader in numerous sectors. And I believe very strongly that if we're going to build the economy that we want and that we need for Georgia, we have to invest in education. It is the very foundation by which I believe an economy is sustainable long term. And that's why I'm so excited about STEM and what's going on with STEM education, because manufacturing and industries are critical for our success. Most people think that manufacturing as an industry has really left and gone abroad. The reality is that America still leads the nation in manufacturing as a percentage of value. That is to say that the things that we are manufacturing are the high-end goods. It's the planes, it's the cars, they're the expensive items. All the textile and low cost products are being done offshore. Now, why do I tell you that? I tell you that because if we're going to truly continue to compete in a 21st century economy, we have got to put our investment in the intellectual capital that will be required to be the innovators as America has been known for. And when you look at what's happening abroad, you look at America where we're graduating 70,000 engineers a year. But India graduates 350,000. China's graduating 600,000 students a year. This is something that we cannot bury our head in the sand. We have to recognize that if we're going to maintain our dominance, then the investment in the intellectual part of education is going to be critical. And so I applaud each of you for recognizing that, not only as corporations, but also as school systems as well, and this technology association too. These are wonderful times that we're in. I had the opportunity to visit with Tino as we talked about venture capital and how in economic development we have really a three-legged stool. It's not just simply recruiting new industry to Georgia, but it's helping existing industry, but also growing new technology that leads to job creation. We've got to be committed and focused in these areas. I'm amazed when I think about how this economy is changing and how technology is changing every aspect of it. I mean, Home Depot, that all of us know because we see them on virtually every single corner, they do $60 billion a year in revenue. But there's a company called Amazon.com. We don't see them on any single corner. They're somewhere up here. They do $50 billion a year in revenue and just overtook Home Depot as the #1 seller of gas grills. If we don't think the economy is changing and that technology is driving these changes, we're wrong. And if we don't take the steps today to ensure that our kids, the future generations, have every opportunity imaginable to them, then we're going to lose. A survey was done not long ago, and the question was basically asked, are people out of work, or is work out of people? The survey came back, and 50% of corporations in America said this: we have jobs, but we don't have the skilled workers to fill the jobs. That is the reality in which we live in. It is incumbent upon us to do all that we can each and every day to continue to promote STEM education. I visited in Northwest Georgia, and I was excited to see how corporations come together and offer internships and doing camps very similar to what Georgia Power is doing, and how we're exciting kids and giving them a practical understanding of what STEM education is all about. That's what kids relate to. My 3 boys, they don't communicate by phone anymore in terms of speaking. They communicate by typing. And we have to understand that that's this generation. And if we're going to allow them to excel and to do things that we could only dream about 10 years ago, then we've got to give them the opportunity. And that's why I was excited when I saw the internships and the educational programs that are going on in middle school, to where kids are being exposed to this practical style of learning, and it creates a pathway for them that leads to a job. And we have today, with our college and career academies, the ability for kids to graduate from high school on Friday and then graduate from college on Saturday. It requires that type of determination, that type of focus, but more importantly, an understanding that in education, a one-size-fits-all model does not work. We have to be willing to innovate. We have to be willing to break down barriers and look at education in a different model. What is amazing is when you look at other countries and the way in which they have changed their educational model, it's not the same that we have in the United States. It's very different. And that's why STEM education is so critical for our future in this state. It will help all of us, and more importantly, it will help build the economy that all of us need and desire and secure the future for generations to come. Thank you all for being here. I wish you the very greatest success over this period of time. It's great to be here as the first, because it's not often that you get to be the first. And I look forward to many, many more years of greater success as we advance this ball and advance this issue to improve the lives of Georgia citizens. Thank you so much, and God bless you.